on your most recent project, Make Hip Hop Fun Again, what's your favorite song on that? Personally, mine is I Might Be, but which one is it for you?
I'm gonna say If You Knew.
And what does that mean to you?
It's just one of those records that's like that statement in itself. Throughout the album, there's skits of this guy who was on Instagram.
Some haters.
That was just on Instagram, kind of like just trying to demoralize my story and my journey. And to end the album with If You Knew, it's just like a final statement of like, if only you knew everything that I put in and everything I do and how much I show up and how much I take care of and what it took for me to get here, you would never speak this way.
Yeah. And just going back to the whole haters thing, what made you want to implement that on this album?
Because I'm a troll.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Loca, and we're back with another episode of Loca's Vibe Check, where we sit down with artists and we get to talk about their background, their artistry, their motivation, and the future. So we're here today at L3 Media with LaRussell.
Yeah.
Hey. So LaRussell's here today because he has a concert later at the Marina Lounge, but I was able to get a one-on-one interview this morning with him before we head over there. So let's get started. What's up, LaRussell? What's up with you?
What's happening?
All right, so I kind of want to talk about your artistry at first, just to see where your creative mind comes from and what's your creative compass. So your delivery is very raw and intentional, right? So how did you create that sound, or where did your specific flow come from?
I have many flows and many sounds.
Very much.
Which specifically do you speak of? Just in general?
Just in general. Like, how did you create your own person?
Really through like trying to be all of my favorites at one point. I had a phase where I wanted to rap like Lil Wayne, where I wanted to rap like Kendrick, where I wanted to rap like Pac, where I wanted to rap like Cole. And through experimentation, you naturally like find yourself because you start telling your own stories and your flow and everything that you made of naturally comes out of you. Like Kobe tried to be Jordan so much through his career, but he can only end up as Kobe because he's not Jordan, So through that process, I just naturally came to my balance.
Okay. So on your most recent project, Make Hip Hop Fun Again.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite song on that? Personally, mine is I Might Be, but which one is it for you?
I'm gonna say If You Knew.
And what does that mean to you?
It's just one of those records that's like that statement in itself. Throughout the album, there's skits of this guy who was on Instagram.
Some haters.
That was just on Instagram, kind of like just trying to demoralize my story and my journey. And to end the album with If You Knew, it's just like a final statement of like, if only you knew everything that I put in and everything I do and how much I show up and how much I take care of and what it took for me to get here, you would never speak this way.
Yeah. And just going back to the whole haters thing, what made you want to implement that on this album?
Because I'm a troll. I'm as petty can get.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just like, I think that that type of shit deserves a highlight as well. Because some people like to hate and think they could go under the radar with it, so they continue to do that to everybody they come across.
Right.
And I'm big on like certain shit is like, I'm going to highlight you so the world can see you're a hater so we can know who we dealing with. So when people come across you, they know like, oh, that's that hating ass nigga. Like you don't get to escape and live under a rock, and that to me is just big. I just feel like that deserves a spotlight as much as the positivity sometimes, because otherwise niggas will keep doing it through the rest of their journey and everybody it'll keep happening to people and nobody say nothing about it.
Where was you at a couple of weeks ago? because
I was at
we was
home.
dealing with some haters not too long ago. And yeah, we should have highlighted that. But
Yeah,
I try to
sometimes.
ignore all that. You
I mean,
know.
you use discretion. I ignore a lot of it.
Hmm.
But when it gets to a certain point, depending on what somebody do or say, I'ma highlight it because I just look at it as like you a danger.
Right.
You're an imminent
You're a
danger
virus.
to the environment. You're a virus. And sometimes when people get on that front light, like I've had haters lose their jobs and lose their homies because I'ma spotlight you and now everybody know what you own.
Right.
And sometimes you gotta let the world know what a nigga own. It's like this who you hang with.
That's who. Yeah.
You feel
Hey.
me? So sometimes you got to, because a lot of niggas like to hate in silence or hate in secret or hate in the DM. But it's like, nah, we gonna make sure everybody know you're a hating ass nigga.
All right. So let's talk about some motivation. You're very transparent about your grind. So what keeps you centered and humble?
Um, I have really, really, really great people around me, and I have really, really great family, and I have great children, and I just got a really, really great community around me that doesn't allow me to drift too far in any direction. Like, I'll be laughing because I'm talking about at the crib. Like, if I ever changed and I came home with hella chains and watches and jewelry, my niggas would laugh at
They're
me.
gonna roast your ass.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't have that. They just got yes men. I don't have yes men around me. Like, my niggas will tell me if it's like, nigga, man.
That ain't even you, right?
And that's necessary because it's allowed me to achieve a certain kind of balance. Like, I'm pretty balanced within myself, but sometimes I drift and I forget who I am and why I do this and where I am. And it's dope to have people around to give you that reminder.
Bring you back to life. So how do you handle pressure or doubt in an industry that basically overlooks a lot of independent artists?
I just work. Um, I just do the work. Any doubts that I have, I outwork it. Everything that I thought I couldn't do, I worked to do it and I was able to do it. There was a point I didn't think that I could get on the biggest festival stages as an independent artist. I didn't think I could get a Times Square billboard. I didn't think I could get placements on Apple and Spotify because I was indie. I'm like, oh, they don't support, they ain't not gonna rock with us. But I outworked that.
So you talk a lot about purpose. What does doing it for the people mean to you? Because you're very community oriented. And I think that's why a lot of people also, gravitate and love you as well.
Yeah, I'm just big on like taking care of my village. Like I have to live in it and I have to see it and I have to witness it. So it's hard for me to not do something about it or want to be actively in it. And I'm really there. It's easy to not take care of your community or support your community when you don't live there because you don't see it. You just pop in every now and then you go. I live where I grew up. I didn't move. So every day I wake up and I walk and I'm outside and I see these kids and I'm picking my daughter up and I'm at the school. I see the teacher. I'm here. So, it just wouldn't make sense for me to not be actively involved because I'm there every day. I really don't have a choice.
Right. So, of course, like you said, you're from Vallejo. So what does Vallejo mean to you? Like, everybody, they talk about we love our hometown and this, but a lot of people don't actually pour back into their communities. You do. So what does it mean to you? What does Vallejo mean to you?
Everything. Man, that's where I got my sauce and my style, and it molded me into who I am. I met my community, some of my best friends. Man, the city means everything to me. And the fact that I've been such a pivotal part of the change that's taking place in the city. And now I just had the mayor in my backyard yesterday, like giving her game on like, hey, this what we need to, this how you do it. You feel me? I've had council meetings in my yard, the police department, the fire department, like it mean everything to me. And I want to see the change happen in that city while I'm here.
So the Good Company team is a whole vibe. Okay, so how did that come about? How did that start?
It started with just me building and going after something, and I've slowly integrated homies throughout my journey. I've always been working at this, and if you around me, you gonna help me, or you gonna work with me, or you just not gonna be around because I'm gonna be grinding and working. So it really just started with me slowly gathering the homies, doing what we love to do, and really contributing, like me helping other people chase their dreams and go after what they want. In exchange, they help me, and it's just cultivated into this huge community.
And the way you involve people in your projects is it's really something beautiful because we don't have a lot of that, especially over here, you know. So how do you choose who's around you?
It's kind of hard to elaborate. It's like I just feel it. I know, I know I just feel it.
You big on
It ain't.
energy?
It's yeah. It's not really something where it's to kind of elaborate. Like it's just. It's a feeling. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know when someone. I know when someone's what I need, or when someone is like next, or someone I need to help or contribute to. Like it's just. It's in alignment. Everything just works. I don't have anyone around me that like. I really have like confrontation or
Right.
arguments with or
Right.
anything. Like it's very very seldom. Like it's a easy. Like I spend 365 days with some tea and splash with me every day. Like
Mm-hmm.
a few of the home, these are people I spend over 100 plus days a year with, and
No
it's without
argument.
conflict. So it's very very aligning.
Right. Has the definition of success changed for you over time?
Of course, of course.
So what was it initially and what is it now?
Well, initially I thought success was like money, hoes, car, cash, all the luxuries of life,
Mm-hmm.
And now I think success is like, just your ability to sleep and feel good about yourself and feel good about who you are, feel good about who you see in the mirror, feel good about what you've done, feel good about what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
And potentially feel good about the people that are around you as well. I would think, right?
Nah, fuck all that.
Yeah. So what's the energy like when you're creating with the team? Um, like, do you guys have freestyle sessions? Like, how do you go about when you're creating music?
When I create music,
Mm-hmm.
um, it varies. I'm really like it's the same as when we create anything, like when we have visual days and shoot days or just brainstorming interviews. It's a really collaborative process. Like I involve the homies in everything. That's why you'll hear songs where T has poems, or you'll hear a song where Splash is in the background. You just hear him ad libbing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really involve the room.
Okay. So I kind of want to talk about the community outreach since we're already talking about, having people around you and the things that you do in the community. So on top of me being a host, I'm an educator. So I work with a lot of youth, and recently you were able to go and speak with some of my incarcerated youth at the JDF Center.
Mm.
So what was that like?
Um, it was incredible. It was dope to see them kids smiling
Mm-hmm.
and excited. And
Mm-hmm.
I got a few messages after from a lot of the staff. And one of the staff was like, man, that was so impactful that some of them were saying after, like, man, we forgot we got to go back to jail.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to give them a moment of like escapism that just felt like they were free and liberated was beautiful. And it was there was a moment where like I allowed them to rap, and they was rapping
Mm.
some wild shit, and the staff, head was like, hey, we can't have that.
Right.
And I vouched and I told them, I said, man,
It's
they
their creative
already in
compass.
jail. For this moment, allow them to be free. But in exchange for me fighting for them, I told them, now y'all have to rap about something life wise. Like, we don't want to hear that shit. Like, give me something back. I fought for y'all. Now do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the little homies came up and just really spit something about his journey and how he felt. And it was beautiful to witness and see that and how capable they were. They just hadn't been challenged or pushed to like do it.
Um, so a lot of artists don't really go out to speak with incarcerated youth. Now that I know of, especially like over here, what made you want to do that?
I think somebody just hit us and asked me to. You
But you
know,
don't
I
have to
wasn't.
accept it.
Yeah, true. You know, but I do. Like I do for my journey and path. Like there's just some things. Like I was just at a school in Richmond the other day. I go to schools in the V. Like personally, I do. You know, because I know nobody else will.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, just within my soul, like there's, like I say, some things I don't really get to make the choice of. It calls me, and I just have to pick up the phone.
Did you see any of the incarcerated youth and think this could have been me if I didn't do X, Y, and Z?
Certainly. Yeah, and you know what's even doper is I seen some of them after the fact outside in the
Oh,
world, you
really?
know, and they was happy to see me, and I got to pour in like, hey, you know, we on something different, and some of them still hit me to do music, and it was beautiful, man. They just needed somebody to show like, nah, I care about what you doing,
Mm-hmm.
and it means something, and you ain't got to be moving this way. Like they had a few speakers that day, and me and the homies always laugh because you know niggas go into them environments and like preach, or they like,
Yeah.
nigga, I was just like you, and it's like, nigga, ain't
Be better than me.
nobody want
Yeah.
to hear that shit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't ever take that approach with anyone. Like I'm just hollering, I'ma holler at you like a human, and it was very well received because they didn't feel, you know, like they had to be any kind of way.
Yeah. So I was unfortunately not able to be there at that time. So I didn't really get to hear a lot of the message. What was one message that you think or that you wish they would carry in their hearts or walk away with uh, from you that day that you were there?
Um, Possibility. Like they all seen me in real life. You
Mm-hmm.
know, presence beats presence. Like I didn't give nothing away but myself. And that was like the major thing. Most of them probably never met anyone successful. Like anyone who actually made it that they could go look and see and they like, oh shit, isn't you
Right.
know, like most of them never. I went my whole life and I never met a successful person or a famous person. So
Or
for
someone that
someone
they
to
could
come
potentially relate to.
there, you know, that's still relatable,
Mm-hmm.
like that was the takeaway, that is possible, that is like this is real life and you can become exactly what I am. I did nothing. I came from the same exact places, same environment, same homies, same everything.
All right, so we're going to switch gears here. I kind of want to talk about the business aspect of it all. So you kind of flip the whole music collaboration thing on its head when you said, give me your best offer, or you don't have a set rate, right? So how did that even come about, or why did you start doing that? I mean, obvious answer is because you want to be able to work with people regardless if they can afford it or not, but why are you doing it personally?
Accessibility. I wanted people to be able to get an opportunity that generally surpasses them. You know, like I didn't want to just do the Breakfast Clubs and the Sways and the Revolts and the, you know, all the media that's like, oh, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
making you go. I wanted people from the block and from where I'm from to be able to have the opportunity to get those too. Because if I go do an interview on Breakfast Club and then my next interview is on your platform grow, and I've seen the growth of platforms after I leave them or after I embrace them and different artists get to come in, like I'm just sharing the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to benefit from this wave that's been cultivated.
So, what are some of the biggest lessons that you learned running everything independently or being an independent artist?
If you want full control and you want to own it and you want it to go how you want it to go, then put your own money up.
Mm.
um, you have to be responsible for the wins and the losses. A lot of niggas just want to win, but they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
Or don't know how to lose.
you got to take that loss too. It come with it. You don't get one without the other. Every time you play, you either gonna win or you gonna lose, and you have to be open to both. Those are the major things, you know.
And how do you balance it? Like being an artist, being an entrepreneur, businessman. How do you balance everything, and also while being a normal person?
I think that's how I balance it, by like being a normal person. Like I'm none of those things and all of those things at once. I don't really have to show up as a businessman or as an artist or as a this. Like, that is just me. I just show up as me, and all of those things exist within that.
Okay. So what's one thing that you wish everybody knew about just being an independent artist in the industry, as far as what you've done to be so successful? Because there are a lot of people that are independent artists, but they're not getting the same success that you have right now.
I feel like previously there was a notion that independence was like easier, or like the route you take when you can't do this or that, and it's harder to be an independent artist than a major artist. Far more difficult, far more expensive. You have to be way more skilled. There is no major artist that has more skill and ability than I have. If you put us in a room and ask us the same questions about anything,
Because
I'm going to
you've
be
done it.
far more knowledgeable and experienced in it. And it just take a different level of hustle and ambition to be an independent artist at this height. You know, I'm there's some major artists that don't have the achievements and accolades I have. You know, so to be able to get to the point where you're independent and still are on the same platforms and still getting the same love and admiration and the same blog post, like, I spin like a major, you know. So independent is no longer just like a little thing. Like, there's some indie artists that's like, yeah, they're little indie artists, but there's also gigantic ones.
So let's talk about legacy and the future. So what do you want people to think of you and your legacy? When they hear LaRussell, you want them to think of what?
Nothing. They can think of whatever they want to think of. I have no merit in that.
I mean, but you're doing all this work. I'm sure you would want, like, you don't want them to say just nothing or anything, like you are somebody. So
You heard the album. There people are gonna say whatever they want to say. I could do as much as I've done, and there's still a nigga who says that. You know,
Right.
like, I don't have no merit in that. So I stay away from what I want people to think of and do for me and see me as. All I could do is show up and do the work, and the people that resonate with, they gonna feel what all these people who come to these shows feel. And you know, that's for them to determine. All I could do is show up and do the work. But what you think about the work ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right. Either way it goes, you're gonna do you, basically. Okay, so what's something that you're still wishing to create or build within your company, Good Compenny?
Everything, you know. I'm going for Disney and Apple,
Okay.
and Netflix and Nike. Like, everything. You know, I don't want to be anything minute. Like, the goal is to make this as gigantic
On a
as
large scale.
possible.
I like that. So, if you had a message for young artists who are independent, what advice would you give? Similar to the incarcerated youth.
I was telling them there that there's not really any advice that supersedes the demonstration. I would tell them to watch. Like, go watch the tapes. I've documented everything, so anyone who comes after me or before me could go watch how I did it, what I did, how much of it I did, And that's the best thing you could do to me. Like, I could tell you whatever, but what I show you is far more impactful and powerful. So I would say go watch tapes. The same way an athlete who wants to be as great as Jordan is going to watch Jordan.
Right.
Go watch the footage. It's all documented and replicate and do 10 times more than I did. I'm on album 39. So, you know, it's like, go do it.
Yeah. If you could chop it up with your younger self for like 5 minutes, what advice would you give to yourself?
Leave them hoes alone. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Do it 10,000 times.
Period. What do you mean do it 10,000 times?
Whatever it is that you wish to do. With me, I've burned a lot of time in my journey. And I put in a lot of time, but I burned a lot of time. I spent so much time just fucking off my time, doing shit that didn't get me no closer to where I wanted to be in my journey, no higher on the mountain. And I wasted a lot of it. And if I would have put that same energy and time into my craft, I would have been here prior, you know. And I'm grateful that I'm here now, but I see areas where I could have improved and could have done better. And I would have been, you know, at this point, I would have been probably double where I am now.
So, since you have your concert today, what are you looking to experience here in Fairfield?
Yeah, I gotta come to Fairfield. Yeah. We in soon. You know, we gonna take it to Fairfield too. I've been trying to hit all the sub cities around me that never gets entertainment or love because the crowds there are just different. It's like, you know, we don't get shit. We're underserved. Fairfield just like Vallejo. We cousins. So I don't have any expectations. You know, I really throw these experiences so people could just revel in community and feel good for a moment. And just, like I say, we in underserved places. There's no artist who comes and does shows here. So for me to come is already like a big deal. So I'm just here to build community and show that, like, nigga, I see y'all. In the same way y'all see and appreciate me, I got the same respect.
You say you have 39 albums. When is your next album coming out?
Next week.
Okay, y'all. It'll be out next week, okay? What's your favorite album?
That's tough. I'm going to go with how much does a peace of mind cost? I'm going to go with Field Effect 2. I'm going to go with Marlon. That's tough. It's a lot.
That's your top three, though?
Not
What's
even,
this new
because
album
it's like
about to be called?
Sobriety.
Oh, is that your journey that you're going through right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey. So.
Yeah.
All right. What does that mean to you, though, sobriety? Like, what have you experienced since then, and how long has it been, and all that?
I'm almost on 3 weeks. I ain't had no weed, and it was beating my ass at first.
You was having vivid dreams?
It just stopped. Nah, I ain't got my dreams back really yet. I just
Every
an
time
inkling,
I stop,
but
I
just
got
like
crazy.
Yeah, it was beating my ass. I'm just now getting back to like feeling like myself, and even that, it's still like it's still, you know, it's working its way. But every time I give up weed, I just go through a period where I have to like refine myself and who I am and what I like and what I enjoy. Because for the first week, 2 weeks, I don't like people at all. like last week, this interview process would just be different, duller. It's just a different experience, you know. Like I just and I have to like remind myself of like, this is like withdrawal. This isn't me. You know, this is how I actually feel. This is how I feel right now. This isn't how I feel, you know, permanently. So it's been a process.
What made you want to quit?
I've become this successful high, you know, and when I'm high, I'm only operating at like 40%. I'm just like a very, very high operating individual. But when I'm sober, I'm just like sharper. I could do more. It's
Clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me right now. Those are all the questions I have. I appreciate you coming by, especially before, the event that we got going on. You guys, thank you to LaRussell for being here.
You heard?
Okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your channel. Bye.